Today's topic is Holder's and Minkowski's inequalities. These two inequalities are very useful in functional analysis and so they are very important. Today we will prove these inequalities. To prove these inequalities, we need a lemma which states that if A and B are non-negative real numbers and P is greater than 1 and 1 by P plus 1 by Q is equal to 1. Here P and Q are called conjugate exponents or conjugate indices. Then we have to show that AB is less than or equal to A to the power P divided by P plus B to the power Q divided by Q. And equality holds if and only if A to the power P is equal to B to the power Q. Let us prove this lemma. If A is equal to 0, then in this inequality left hand side is equal to 0 and in the right hand side we have B to the power Q divided by Q, and since B to the power Q is a non-negative number, so here we know that this inequality holds. And similarly, if B is equal to 0, then also this inequality holds. So let A and B are positive real numbers. Now we consider a function f from the set of positive real numbers to the set of real numbers defined by f of t is equal to 1 minus lambda plus lambda t minus t to the power lambda, where lambda is equal to 1 by p. And since we want to prove this result where we have to use p and q, so here we are writing lambda is equal to 1 by p. And if we differentiate this function with respect to t, then we get f dash t is equal to lambda minus lambda times t to the power lambda minus 1. Since here 1 and lambda are constant, so here we get 0 and we are left with these two terms. And since here lambda is 1 by p and 1 by p is less than 1, so this expression can be written as f dash t is equal to lambda minus lambda 1 by t to the power 1 minus lambda, so that the power here is positive. And here when t lies between 0 and 1, then 1 by t is greater than 1. And since here power is positive, so here the second term is more than the first term, and so we can say that f dash t is less than 0. This is negative. And for t greater than 1, here 1 by t is less than 1, and so this the second term is lesser than the first term, and so f dash t is positive. And if we put t is equal to 1 here, then here we have lambda minus lambda, that is equal to 0, and so f dash t is equal to 0. So from these results we note that function is decreasing between when t lies between 0 and 1, and function is increasing when t is greater than 1, and when t is equal to 1, its value 0 means here the tangent is parallel to the x-axis. And when we also note that when t is equal to 1, then f of t is also 0, because here we have 1 minus lambda plus lambda minus 1, and so function is 0 when t is equal to 1. So here we observe that first function is decreasing, and then this approaches to 0, and then its value is positive. And so we can say that f of t is greater than or equal to 0, and equality holds if and only if t is equal to 1. Here t is equal to 1, then f of t is equal to 0. And here we write 1 minus lambda plus lambda t minus t to the power lambda. This is greater than or equal to 0 with equality if and only if t is equal to 1. From this we have t to the power lambda is less than or equal to 1 minus lambda plus lambda t. And now if we put t is equal to a to the power p into b to the power minus q, and here lambda is equal to 1 by p, then we find that a to the power p into b to the power minus q whole to the power 1 by p is less than or equal to 1 minus 1 by p, here 1 by p, and plus a to the power p b to the power minus q divided by t. Here 1 minus 1 by p is equal to 1 by q. So here we can write 1 by q. And here a to the power p to the power 1 by p means a to the power 1, and b to the power minus q by p. So we have this. And equality holds if and only if t is equal to 1. T is equal to 1 means a to the power p into b to the power minus q is equal to 1. That means a to the power p is equal to b to the power q. So here we have this. If we multiply both the sides by b to the power q, then we get a to the power b to the power q into b to the power minus q by p. That means b to the power q minus q by p. And this is less than or equal to b to the power q divided by q, plus here we have a to the power p into b to the power 0. So we have a to the power p divided by p. And equality holds if and only if a to the power p is equal to b to the power q. Now we want to find q minus q by p. And since here 1 by p plus 1 by q is equal to 1, and so we have 1 minus 1 by p is equal to 1 by q, and this implies q, here multiplying by q, then we get q minus q by p is equal to 1. So here we have a into b is less than or equal to a to the power p divided by p plus b to the power q divided by q, with equality holds if and only if a to the power p is equal to b to the power q. Now we shall prove the Holder's and Minkowski's inequalities for n tuples of scalars. And here scalars are real numbers or complex numbers. The theorem states that let p greater than 1, 1 by p plus 1 by q is equal to 1, and x is equal to x1 comma x2 up to xn, y is equal to y1 comma y2 up to yn, where y1, y2, yn, x1, x2, xn are belonging to K, where K is the field of complex numbers or field of real numbers. And norm P of x is defined as summation of mod of xi whole to the power p, I varies from 1 to n, and whole to the power 1 by p. Here actually we have x1 mod of x1 whole to the power p plus mod of x2 whole to the power p plus up to the last term is plus mod of xn whole to the power p, and whole to the power is 1 by p. So we have this, and now we have to prove Holder's inequality, that is summation of mod of xi, mod of yi, I varies from 1 to n, is less than or equal to norm p of x, norm q of y. P is greater than 1. And Minkowski's inequality is norm p of x plus y is less than or equal to norm p of x plus norm p of y. P here is greater than or equal to 1. Now here we note that if all xi's are 0 means x1, x2, all xn are 0, then we note that norm of x, norm p of x is also 0. And if all xi's are 0, then mod of xi's are 0. So left hand side and right hand sides both are 0, and so Holder's inequality holds. And similarly, if all y's are 0, then norm p of y is equal to 0, and here left hand side and right hand sides both are 0. And so we assume that all xi's and all yi's are non-zero. Then norm p of x is not equal to 0. Here at least one of the xi's is not equal to 0, and so norm p of x is not equal to 0, because at least one of the term is non-zero. And similarly norm of y, norm q of y is not equal to 0. By lemma we have just proved for ai greater than or equal to 0, bi greater than or equal to 0, ai into bi is less than or equal to ai whole to the power p divided by p plus bi whole to the power q divided by q. Putting for each I is equal to 1, 2 up to n, ai is equal to mod of xi divided by norm of p of x, and bi is equal to mod of yi divided by norm q of y. We get here mod xi into mod yi divided by norm p of x, norm q of y. Here multiplying, we are writing ai bi, and this is less than or equal to ai to the power p means mod of xi whole to the power p divided by norm p of x whole to the power p, and we have here 1 by p, so here we have p, plus we write bi to the power q divided by q, and so we have mod of yi whole to the power q divided by q into norm q of y whole to the power q. And we have here n inequalities for each I is equal to 1 to n. So we have here n inequalities, and if we add these inequalities, then here we see that denominators are the same in these expressions, and so here we have summation sign in the numerator only. So we write here summation mod xi mod yi, I varies from 1 to n, divided by norm p of x, norm q of y is less than or equal to summation mod xi whole to the power p, I varies from 1 to n, divided by p times norm p of x whole to the power p, plus here adding these terms, so we have summation mod yi whole to the power q, I varies from 1 to n, divided by q to norm q of y whole to the power q. Here we note that from the definition, this summation term in the numerator is equal to norm p of x whole to the power p here. this summation term is equal to norm p of x whole to the power p. So here we write norm p of x whole to the power p, and then these terms will be cancelled and we are left with 1 by p. And similarly, this terms summation mod of yi whole to the power q is equal to, by definition of norm, we have norm q of y whole to the power q, means these two terms will be cancelled and we have plus 1 by q, and this is equal to 1. And so here from this inequality, this term left hand side is less than or equal to 1, and that means summation mod xi mod yi, I varies from 1 to n, is less than or equal to norm p of x norm q of y. So we have proved Holder's inequality. Now we prove Minkowski's inequality. We note that for p is equal to 1, we have norm 1 x plus 1 is equal to, here note that when we put here 1, then here we have 1 and here we have 1. So we can say that summation mod of xi, I varies from 1 to n. And so here we write summation mod xi plus yi, I varies from 1 to n, because whole to the power 1 and whole to the power 1 by 1 means 1. And but we know that mod of xi plus yi is less than or equal to mod of xi plus mod of yi, and since each term in the summation is less than or equal to these type of terms, and so we can replace this term by these terms by writing less than or equal to. So we have less than or equal to summation mod xi plus mod yi, and I varies from 1 to n. Writing both the terms separately, then we have summation mod of xi, I varies from 1 to n, plus summation mod of yi, I varies from 1 to n. And this is nothing but norm 1 of x, this is norm 1 of y. So when p is equal to 1, Minkowski's inequality holds. Now we consider the case when p is greater than 1. Then norm x plus y, norm p of x plus y whole to the power p is equal to, by the definition, this is summation mod xi plus yi whole to the power p, I varies from 1 to n. Because here we have written whole to the power p, so here we have this term only. And if we can write this term as summation mod xi plus yi into mod xi plus yi whole to the power p minus 1. And since mod of xi plus yi is less than or equal to mod of xi plus mod of yi, so we can write here with this less than or equal to sign, we can write this is less than or equal to summation mod of xi plus mod of yi, I varies from 1 to n, into norm mod of xi plus yi whole to the power p minus 1. So now we can write separately, we can write these two terms separately, this plus this. So we can write summation mod of xi plus yi whole to the power p minus 1, I varies from 1 to n, and then we have plus summation mod of yi mod xi plus yi whole to the power p minus 1, I varies from 1 to n. Using Holder's inequality, because here we have two terms in the product, and so we can use Holder's inequality for these two terms. So we have norm p x plus y whole to the power p is less than or equal to, here this term can be written as it is less than or equal to summation I varies from 1 to n mod of xi whole to the power p whole to the power 1 by p, and for this second term we can write summation mod xi plus yi whole to the power p minus 1, and to this term we write power as q and whole to the power 1 by q. And then the next term can be written similarly. It is summation mod of yi whole to the power p whole to the power 1 by p, and then we have summation mod xi plus yi whole to the power p minus 1, and this whole to the power q and whole to the power 1 by q. So here we note that this term is equal to norm p of x into this term, and then here we have this term as norm p of y into this term, and this term is same in both the expressions. So we can write common it, we can write common as norm of px plus norm of py into norm summation mod xi plus yi whole to the power p minus 1 into q, and this whole to the power 1 by q. And since 1 by p plus 1 by q is equal to 1, so 1 by q can be written as 1 minus p, 1 minus 1 by p, but this implies p is equal to q minus 1. If we multiply this expression by p, then we have p times p minus 1, and then we multiply by q, then we have p is equal to q times p minus 1. And here, so we can write as this term as equal to the power p. And since here whole to the power is 1 by q, so to change it into standard form, so we can write here power 1 by p, and then we can write whole to the power p, and so we have p by q, and this term will become norm p of x plus y and whole to the power p by q. So here we have norm p of x plus norm p of y into norm p of x plus y whole to the power q by p. And since the left hand side is norm x plus y, norm p of x plus y whole to the power p. So when we divide by this term, so we get norm p of x plus y whole to the power p minus q by p, and this is less than or equal to norm p of x plus norm p of y. And here we note that 1 plus p by q is equal to p, and this is equal to p minus p by q is equal to 1. So p minus p by q is 1. So in the left hand side we have norm p of x plus y is less than or equal to norm of px plus norm of py. Thank you.